Okay, so welcome to another video. So I made this pond about 4 months ago and I knew that I had already made a mistake and I was gonna need to do this pond over again. And that time has come. So there is a small leak and so the water level is just dropping probably about this, like very, very, very slowly. So my mistake for building this pond was buying a cheap liner. I didn't realize that I had bought a liner that wasn't good. So I bought another liner that is better quality. I spent good money on this one and we're going to take all of this apart. I think I might leave the old liner still there and put the new one on top of it. I think I also might even make it just a little bit bigger, but we'll see. As you can see how much the water has dropped. Like I filled this pond up probably a week ago and you can see exactly like how far down it's gone. So as you can see, I'm draining the water here just to make it easier to get the fish out. That is a decent sized chunker. Got one. Oh, big fish. Look. Very heavy tongue. So when I lifted up this pond liner, it was very clear that the roots had grown through the underlayment, which it wasn't supposed to do, so I was pretty surprised about that. You can also see that it's noticeably wet on one side, so that confirmed that the pond was definitely leaking and I could tell which side it was leaking from. Okay, so that's the progress of it. I've made it a little bit bigger, which is fantastic. And it was leaking. And I found out that it was super, super wet in this back corner. So I think I was right. I think it had another leak because one side was just so much wetter. Like, this side is completely dry and that side's wet. So somewhere must have been a small leak. Like, as in, it was still very small. Like, it was probably only leaking this much per day. But it was just enough for me to notice it. I've just pulled back the other layers just to dry out that area just a little bit. I've got all my rocks, pebbles, gravel all around there. I'm going to wash all that, make it all nice and clean again. You can see in this corner that it was all wet, and I have now made that section bigger. So right now, this is where I've put the smaller fish. So we can see that I've got Corydoras. There's my Corydoras. I got the White Cloud Mountain Minnows. And in here should be the paradise fish as well with both of the babies. Yeah, there's one right there. And this is where I've got the goldfish. Try and find them all. Yeah. See, they're all in there. They're all a bit stressed at the moment, but they'll be okay. And there we go. I just put a small filter in for these guys to keep them happy through the night. Okay, so it is the next day and this has dried out a lot. So I'm going to lay the pond liner down here. I'm going to put a quilt underneath it just because I'm so paranoid about rocks like this, putting holes in it. I just want to take a second to apologize for the amount of wind in this video. Sometimes when I'm making videos, I just don't plan for the weather ahead, and it was just so windy while I was making this video. So I'm sorry about that. The new liner was also extremely difficult to get into place. Like, you can see I am completely struggling to get it where I wanted to go. I was also intentionally trying to create folds. So when you create a fold, it stops it from wrinkling in other places. So the folds are actually intentional. However, I was really struggling to get the folds right in this pond. The new liner was extremely thick and really, really hard to get it into that shape that I wanted. I definitely needed to mention that my neighbors can see directly into my yard, so I definitely got a little bit camera shy in this moment. And they also decided it was time to mow that lawn, so I'm sorry about the background noise in this section. So in this clip, I got super paranoid about a certain crease in my pond liner, and I thought it was the potential to be a hole. So I just put some duct tape over the top just in case if it is a hole, I can find it straight away. Yeah, lots of water. Whoa! Is that fun? Is that better? Is that better? Okay. Time to go swimming. Oh, it's cold. Oh. Okay.
It's cold.
It is cold. Oh, okay.
It's a bit heavy.
They're very heavy. Oh, how do I even get that? I don't want to, you know.
Heavy.
Oh my god. Oh.
Like it.
So here is where I'm planning to put my overflow. So this is actually where I want the water. If it starts to rain or the water fills up somehow, I need it to flow in a direction that I want it to go. So when I was constructing the wall for this pond, I intentionally left a gap between the concrete slab and the foundation of the wall. This is to let any of the water actually pass through easily so nothing gets trapped and waterlogged. I'm now starting to let the fish into my pond.
Go.
Now I'm finally doing the finishing touches. I know it's been a little bit of time between these videos, you can definitely tell, but sometimes I just get a little bit caught up with my own life. So now I'm just trying to cut around the liner around the edges and make it super neat and tidy. For some reason, at the back was actually the hardest. There was 3 layers of pond liner, of course with the intentional folds. So it was super hard for me to actually cut through these and make a straight line. For some reason, every time I made a cut, it wanted to go directly down, which I did not want it to do. I just wanted it to cut straight across. And it was just so much harder than it should have been. Oh my god.
Hot. Hot.
Don't touch. Stop. Okay, very sharp. It's working. Are you sure? Here's the pump. Look. It's also super important to leave a few inches of pond liner around the edges, just because over time, especially with plants growing around it, the liner is going to shift and move quite a lot. So you want to make sure that there is enough liner to make sure that it's not going to fall down on one side and cause a lot of problems for you in the future. So you can clearly see that I still have not sealed the pond liner at the front, and that is intentional because I want to make sure that I seal that correctly. So I'm going to give myself a little bit more time to do some research on how to do that properly. So that's why I'm intentionally leaving that for this video, and I'm going to do that another time. So now my pond is complete for this video. Like I said, I will still do finishing touches later on, and I might have a part 3 to this pond build, but now I'm so happy with how this looks.